Welcome to the bold. After Kimani Ichung'wah launched attacks on George Natembeya, the Trans Nzoia governor, it was evident that all that was coordinated, and it was not just a coincidence. It was a calculated move with a deeper motive. In this podcast, we demonstrate why it was the George Natembeya is actually a target for the Kenya Kwanza team. But of course, the move is turning out to be suicidal. Was it right to do so? And what are the political bonuses that President Ruto seemed to lose instead of gaining from that move? Kindly subscribe to our channel. We're moving to 100,000 subscribers. We are 3,800 shy of that target, giving ourselves 1 month to achieve 100,000. So kindly make sure you subscribe, click the subscription button, and subscription is absolutely free. There is no money that is going to be deducted from your account. It is just your email address into subscribed. Ichung'wah is believed to be one of the spoilers, the man that is doing the dirty job for the president. And over the weekend, he was a gun for hire in Bungoma. And unfortunately, during a burial ceremony, the mother to Speaker Moses Wetangula. And after claiming Rigathi is responsible for abductions, he didn't stop there. He went ahead and lectured Natembeya that he cannot talk about abductions since he was in charge when the former regime was also going through that phase. But I saw a strong rebuttal from Natembeya, deep statement that I would want us to take some time and get a snippet of what Natembeya is saying.
If a leader thinks that kuna kidnapping in Kerio Valley, huyo kiongozi yeye taita na misuse to, so the leader at all. Na mimi kuna wakati niulizwa shida ya kule ni nini na watu wa media. And I gave the problem and I gave the solutions. Na mimi nashukuru mheshimiwa Kindiki ame-implement it in the letter because of this plan that the past was political goodwill. Sasa wameweka pesa kule, wamepeana support, mambo yamerudi chini. If you don't understand the geography of this country, unasemaje kwamba Natembeya ameua watu Kerio Valley na akapeleka Yala? You don't just talk because you have a mouth. So unaongea mambo mingi ambayo hata haina maana. So saa hizi vile watoto wanachukuliwa kiwao, mnasema watoto wako kidnapped. Na jana waruninga mnaona wale wapatikana wamekufa. Sasa walijikidnap wakaenda wakajua. Can we be a serious government? Serious people can do things seriously. Now wala ambao wachukulia kule Embu, kule Nairobi, so kulingana na huyo mjamaa Regional Commission wa Nairobi atakana kuuliza mambo ya kidnapping na mambo ya abduction. Ni kazi ya Regional Commission. So kazi ya Regional Commission na hiyo. So the truth is this. There's something wrong in this country. Kuna watu wana abduct watoto, wanapotea na watoto, wanaenda wanaua watoto. And this thing must stop. And this one, the president cannot escape this one. Because the responsibility of protecting people's lives and their property squarely stops at his door. So na mimi nikiongea kama rais yako, maneno naambia rais mwenye anakuja kujibu za another fellow, hata ambaye kwake hawezi kufika huko sasa. Number two, hii mambo wanasema Natembeya trafiki ya Rigiji. Ndio naona mtu anachemuka hivyo kwa sababu hapo anapita na Rigiji huko. Wananiwekelea huyu mtu ya Rigiji, huyu mtu ya Rigiji. Na Rigiji mwenyewe hata mimi kuongea naye kwa simu huwa siongea naye kwa simu. We've never spoken, we've never met anywhere. Hatujawahi kukutana na Rigiji. Lakini mko na system, mko na National Intelligence Service. Lakini mnaongea maneno fitina tu kama watu wengine kama kala kipato. Why can't you use the system to confirm kwamba Natembeya naongea na huyu jamaa, naongea na huyu jamaa? But most importantly, ile vita ya Rigiji ilikuwa ni vita ya Kenya kwanza. Hao watu walitembea pamoja bila walikosana, mimi sijui. The fact kwamba mmekosana na Rigiji, why should I differ with him? Mimi amenikosea nini? Hajanikosea chochote. Sasa ile jamaa alikuwa anaongea jana na kunitusi. Na Rigiji mwenye hajanitusi. Sasa leo hii nikisema nichague nani kafanya naye kazi, nitachagua nani?
So in a right rebuttal, Natembeya is facing them head on. In the same event, Wajakoya promised that he was going to form a political alliance around Natembeya. That all those leaders that were actually attending the event where Natembeya was being attacked while Western leaders are watching should actually pack and go.
I want to come here to reinforce with Natembeya. Mimi ndio nitakuwa kiongozi wa kwanza kuja kutetea Natembeya mbele yenu. I'm running for president 2027. But ile mama ambao wabunge wa Kenya wamekaa pale Natembeya kitishiwa kama mtoto. Shame on you. Na kama kusema kitu yoyote wakati hiyo, mnasikia? Those who defied Natembeya 2027 wapi? Nyumbani. You cannot do that. Natembeya is the voice we have here. Watoto wakishikwa na watu ya Ruto. Watoto wakiwa kidnapped. Watoto wetu wanapotea. Wajinga wengine kama Oduor. Oduor sio mzee wa kuita mzee. Oduor anakuja kusema hata watoto wanasala sio mno kubola kabuene. Mimi niliambia Oduor juzi, kwenda nyumbani. I was the first one to tell that mzee, chukua mzee yako, kwenda nayo kwako, kaa kwenu. He cannot account for what he has stolen from workers.
The Trans Nzoia boss, county boss, rose from police ranks and then left the public service so that he can join politics. And in one term, or rather seeking politics, the Trans Nzoia seat for the first term, he was able to be elected as the governor. The Ruto team understands Natembeya is a big machinery, and that is why he's a target to be neutralized. And this is coming hot in the heels of Natembeya taking a direct swipe on Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi. And I believe that the president, looking at the Western Belt, they pointed out Natembeya as the man that is a headache for them to get the Western Belt. Now, the leaders have reacted differently to Kimani Ichung'wah attacks and were saying that even if Wetangula wanted someone to defend him during the burial, Ichung'wah was not the right person, since there are also leaders from Western Kenya who can defend him. And it was a wrong choice of picking someone from Mount Kenya to come out and play the dirty job. Now, after that statement, Kimani Ichung'wah yesterday was supposed to attend a church service with the president in Elgeyo Marakwet and is believed to have not been invited for that event. Probably he was supposed to continue with rants on abductions. But if you're also keen, since Kimani Ichung'wah said it is regarded responsible, no one else has echoed his sentiments. And in fact, they knew that the country will know they are lying about this. So they decided to drop that line. The earlier, the better, because no one was going to buy all that narrative. On one side, you cannot be lecturing parents to take responsibility for their children, and you can also not be lecturing the young people about the use of social media, but at the same time, you believe someone else is responsible for the abductions. Why Kimani Ichung'wah attacks, I believe, is going to deny William Ruto the Western votes. As much as he might think that going after Natembeya is supposed to neutralize him. But all that is not going to work well for some reasons. I believe that in politics, sometimes you need to find your enemy and destroy your enemy completely. But the dynamics of our politics are a bit different. The days of personalities being the angle, or rather the focal point on decision making, the days are almost behind us. So we need to be more wary about this. But of course, why is Natembeya the target? Natembeya is perceived to be, Natembeya is actually, what is making Natembeya is the statements, or rather the narrative he is running against Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi, having their positions having zero impacts on ground, is giving him a political fodder. And I think he's been asking that Mount Kenya, that Western Kenya was given 30% in the power sharing deal. That 30%, quite a number of politicians, even in Ford Kenya, including Chris Wamalwa, whom I didn't see attending Wetangula's mother's burial, even though he was a member of Ford Kenya, are the people that were supposed to benefit from the 30%. The 30% cut that President Ruto promised the Western Wing have not been seen. And so when the voices of Natembeya emerge asking, what has Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula brought for the people, it comes out clearly that those positions have zero impact. You know, Musalia Mudavadi is the cabinet secretary in charge of foreign affairs, docket. How you can go on ground and see foreign affairs in Mumias, in Musanda, in Vihiga, in Trans Nzoia, or rather in Bungoma, it is not very possible. I have heard Opiyo Wandayi talking about power connections in Western Wing, in Nyanza. Probably he has something to say. I don't know what deals Musalia Mudavadi can say he has negotiated. Now Moses Wetangula now is sitting as the CEO of Parliament. A position where people will start asking how many people have you employed. You cannot get an answer. So the president understands well that the 30% in the hands of Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi is not seen on ground, and he cannot be able to show for it. Natembeya traction also goes beyond Trans Nzoia. If you listen to the speeches that he gave in that other event, I saw Salasia coming in defense of Natembeya. I saw Wajakoya and several other leaders. And I believe the perceived alliance, in fact, you know, the choice of Ichung'wa, probably they could, if they wanted to neutralize Natembeya, they would have used Didmas Baraza. I believe there are also vocal leaders from Western Kenya that would have done what Ichung'wa did. Natembeya is perceived to be in line of a political alliance with Rigathi Gachagua and Uhuru Kenyatta in it. And that is why he said during Uhuru regime. But one of the potential he has is to gather Ruto rebels in Western. And if he manages to gather the Ruto rebels in Western, then that is going to be a headache for the president. So I think that is to my end why he's a target for the president and the team. But I believe all that may not yield any fruit. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. And I strongly believe that Kimani Ichung'wa is going to drop more votes for the president. Is going to drop more votes for the president. As we keep on saying, 2025 is the turnaround year. So if you want to turn around so that you get back the people, this is the year. If you don't do it this year, then in 2026, forget that things the people are going to see. The people will see everything you did in 2026 as a last minute rush, as a bribe, as a token to wink the vote. But if you mean that you want people to feel good, it is this year. Thank you.